Welcome back. Here's my Sky 120. It has flown a number of times, many times, and it's a dream to fly. However, there is one sort of fault, if I can use the word fault in this case, and that is the landing gear. The landing gear is made out of aluminium and it is soft. That's the word for it. So if the landings are anything but the softest type, the landing gear will bend. And I have had to bend it back after a few of my landings. Yes, I'm not ashamed to admit this. So if you look carefully, you can see that it is splayed a little too much. So I'm going to have to take it off, make it better, and I'm going to put something to hold against this tendency for it to go out. So I'm going to use a wire and some springs. Now, the first thing to do, of course, is to take the gear off the model and bring it back to where it should be. Here I have removed the landing gear from the model. I've taken the wheels off, and on inspection you can see that this leg is fairly straight, but it has lifted a little bit, and this one, there's actually a nice bow here which I have to fix. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to put this in the vise and then bring the legs in a little bit. This one not so much. This one I have to correct. Now, in order to get it the same bend in both, I have something like this. I can see here that if this were correct, this is way out. So we have a big job ahead. Here the landing gear is in my bench vise, and I'm going to bring this right leg a little bit in order to get an even stress on the middle here. I put some steel blocks into the vise that are going to hold the whole of the middle section. Now I've taken this right leg in a few millimeters, and what matters is that this part here is at 90 degrees to the middle, and it looks fairly close. Here I have taken the landing gear out of the bench vise, and I used this to show me the angle of the right leg to the middle. Now I want to use this to get the left leg at the same angle, and it's quite obvious that we do not have the same angle. Now I have to pull the left leg in, and it has to go quite a way. And now the left leg has the same angle to the middle as the right one, so we are about done here. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to take an eye bolt like this one. It's 4mm, simply because they didn't have any smaller, and I'm going to insert it here into the leg. This is the front. I'll probably put it here in the back of it, behind the axle, and then I'm going to make it come up here. I'll put another eye bolt here, which I will take up through the bottom of the fuselage and fastened here, and then I can string a wire with a spring between them. This will hold on to the landing gear and prevent it from bending a lot. Now I'm going to put the eye bolt here at the back, and begin with marking where it should be, and then drilling with 4mm. Here is the eye bolt, and it should clear the wheel. Here is the bolt after cutting, and I'm going to put some Loctite where the inner nut is going to sit, and see to it that it will never move again. Unless I want it to. A washer. Put it in place. And now I'm going to put a nut with a nylon insert on the outside. there we are. Now to put it back on the plane. So the wheel is installed, and there's just enough room to clear the nut that I installed for this. So the bolt that goes through the wheel is tapped into the main gear. So this is just a bolt to contour it, so make it stuck on. And so here the main wheels are on and everything ready for the next flight. If these springs aren't the job, I can just make the wires longer and attach them to the eye bolts themselves to make the main gear even stiffer. Here we are at Melkeres Miller model airplane flying strip in wonderful weather, and here is my Sky 120 with newly fixed main gear. We're going to see how she copes with my landings. I think that was a success. Admittedly, my landings are getting better, but something like this is really an improvement.